All right, today we're going to do something a little different. We're actually going to build an expert right from the ground up. And I'm not talking about theory here. Nope. We've got a real-world blueprint for one of the most vital and honestly most unheard-of engineers out there today. So let's dive in and dissect the anatomy of a software diagnostic engineer.
Okay, so think about this for a second. The car sitting in your driveway right now. It probably has more lines of computer code than a fighter jet. Seriously. So when something goes wrong, when it breaks down, it's not always about a busted part you can fix with a wrench. A lot of the time, it's a digital puzzle, right? A ghost in the machine. So who you call?
Well, you call a totally new kind of specialist. This person is, less of a traditional mechanic and way more like a doctor. A doctor for your car's super complex digital nervous system. And look, this isn't just some made-up idea. We're pulling this profile directly from the playbook of a company you've definitely heard of, Bosch. They're a massive global player in automotive tech, and they are the ones defining this role and hiring for it as we speak.
So here it is, the official title, the Software Diagnostic Engineer. What do? Well, their job is basically to listen to the car's digital whispers, all those error codes and data streams, and figure out what's wrong. It's exactly like a doctor diagnosing a patient. So the big question is, how do you even build a person who can do that?
Okay, so every expert has to start somewhere, right? With a solid foundation. Let's begin by building our engineer's brain. And this first piece of the puzzle, it's forged in the classroom.
So step one is getting that core engineering degree. We're talking automotive or mechanical engineering. But here's the thing, that's just your ticket to the game. It gets you in the door. The real expertise, the stuff that makes you special, comes from stacking on these specialized certifications. That's how you prove you can actually handle the wild world of automotive mechatronics.
But let's be real, book smarts will only get you so far. A doctor has to go through a residency, right? Well, our engineer needs the workshop. This is where all that theory smacks right into reality. It's where knowledge gets forged with, actual grease and steel.
3 years. And that's the bare minimum of hands-on experience that Bosch is asking for. A lot of the time, they're actually looking for more like 6 years. So yeah, this is not a job you just waltz into right out of college. It's something you earn by spending years in the trenches solving real problems with real cars. And just so we're clear, when they say experience, they mean something very specific. We're talking about getting your hands dirty in the actual workshops of the original equipment manufacturers, the OEMs, the folks who actually build the cars. It means you've mastered their tools, their procedures, to the point where you know those vehicles inside and out. Okay, so we've got the brain, we've got the hands-on experience, but what about the tools? I mean, a modern doctor doesn't just show up with a stethoscope, right? And our car doctor, well, they have an unbelievably sophisticated digital toolbox. Now check out this quote, pulled straight from the job description. OTX authoring using Grade X. I know, it sounds super technical because it is, but think of it like this. These are basically the special programming languages used to write the step-by-step troubleshooting guides that other mechanics use. So get this, our engineer isn't just reading the manual, they're the ones writing the code that creates the manual. It's a whole other level.
And yeah, to write those kinds of procedures, you have to be totally fluent in the car's native languages. And I say languages plural, because a car isn't just one computer, it's a whole network of them. The engine, the brakes, that screen on your dashboard, they're all talking to each other, using their own unique digital protocols. Our engineer has to be a master translator to follow the entire conversation.
And you can really see the range of tools they have to know right here. You've got that authoring software we just mentioned, Grade X. Then you have these super specific OEM tools, like if you're working on a Volvo, you need to know VIDA. For a Mercedes-Benz, it's Xentry. And then on top of all that, you've got your general purpose tools too. This expert has to be a master of the entire digital arsenal. Just like in medicine, the really tough cases, they always require a consultation with other specialists. And it's the same here. The most complicated automotive puzzles are almost never solved by just one person. So this engineer isn't some lone wolf genius. They're a crucial player on a big global team.
And this is a really, really critical part of the job. They're basically the human bridge, right? They connect the hands-on, greasy fingers world of the workshop with the super clean digital world of the software developers who wrote the car's code in the first place. They're the ultimate translator who can speak both languages perfectly.
And hey, notice these good-to-have skills listed here? SVN and GitHub? Now, if you're not in the tech world, these are basically standard tools that software teams use every day to manage and share their code.
The very fact that these are even on the list for this job just proves what a true hybrid role this is. It's blending classic garage know-how with super modern collaborative tech practices.
All right, we've got all the pieces, we've gathered all the components. Let's put our expert together and take a look at the final blueprint.
And there you have it. This is the final product. You can really see how this expert is a perfect fusion of two totally different worlds. On one side, you have the mind, all the academic degrees, the fluency in software, and on the other, you have the hands, all those years of workshop experience and total mastery of the tools. It's that seamless blend that creates such an incredibly unique and honestly essential professional.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Well, as our cars just keep getting smarter, turning into these rolling supercomputers, the whole idea of what a mechanic even is, it's being completely rewritten. The future of the auto shop belongs to these digital detectives, these software doctors. And that leaves all of us with a really big question. Are we preparing enough of these experts for what's just around the corner?